everyone to Digital Growth Live. I'm so excited to have a conversation with you today. I have a beautiful guest on the line, Tara Simmons. Welcome, Tara.
Hello.
Yeah, so Digital Growth Live, what I'm doing, it's my passion project. I am interviewing and highlighting 100 women entrepreneurs this year, really to shine a light on all the amazing things women entrepreneurs are doing in this world. We're talking to different age groups, different ethnicities, from different industries. I've had some phenomenal conversations. So if you haven't checked them out, go to my YouTube channel, Digital Growth Live, and then you can see some of the amazing conversations that we've had. But today I'm so excited because I have my friend, my girlfriend on the line, Tara Simmons, who I've known since we were in middle school. And we're going to talk about her journey to travel from Death Valley via bike and her feet running to Beacon, New York. And we're going to talk about her journey on how she decided to do this amazing race and how she's raising money and awareness for human rights. So welcome, Tara.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So Tara, tell me a little bit about yourself and tell me a little bit about your mission.
Okay, so I'm Tara Simmons, and I'm from Beacon, New York, born and raised, and I'm actually raising 3 kids here too. I'm a teacher. I enjoy working out, and I'm on a mission to spread awareness for human rights and love.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. So, so like I said, Tara's running from Death Valley to Beacon, New York. But she has been in the process of this journey for some time. And it's similar to entrepreneurship, where you may have a thought, you plant that seed, and you continue to go and go. That's the same thing as Tara is doing. And like I said, Digital Growth Live is for entrepreneurs, and Tara doesn't know it, but she's an entrepreneur in the making. Um, I know right now she's a teacher. She's an amazing teacher who inspires a lot of children. But I also see her potential of doing so much, spreading this mission not only across the U.S. but across the world, of really helping people feel love, be loved, find compassion, really understand our human rights. So yeah, Tara, tell me a little bit about your mission for this year, 2022, to run across country, bike across country. Tell me, what does that look like for you?
Okay, so July 1st, I do plan on starting this mission and to bike and run and speak every single day for 40 consecutive days until I make it home. So that's the plan, like the broad part of the plan. And what does that look like piece by piece is biking 70, 80 miles and running 10 miles every day and speaking on human rights and love every single day. However, this is the plan that has been in the making since the fall of 2019. So that's when you were talking about the seed. A seed definitely was planted in November of 2019. And I've been watering it with a lot of hard work and sweat. Well,
Yes.
glitter.
Glitter on.
and
Yes, 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 yes.
glitter. Um, and I'm excited that, since then I've been working towards this and I'm going to make it one way or another. And I'm so excited that I have the support of family and friends that are backing me, encouraging me, and supporting me, because it's not something I can do alone at all.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I feel so blessed because I felt like I have seen Tara grow from 2019. She had been thinking about doing this for a while and coming out of her shell and telling me and my girlfriends while we were at a chicken wing eating contest. It was so much fun. We decided to go out for an evening of drinks and laughter and fun. And she was like, I have this idea to go across country. And me and my girlfriends were like, you got this. And I think that's one of the beauties of having a goal and a vision, and having a dream, is first to acknowledge it and then say it out loud. When you say it out loud, you give it power. And when you say it out loud to others who are in a supportive community, it just starts to foster like that planting of the seeds. So we were like, you got this, you can do this. And then Tara just literally
Really?
ran with it. Literally ran with it. She didn't like even like hesitate. She's like, I got this. And so 2019, she had that thought. 2020, she started her training. And when I say she started her training was running from Niagara Falls to Beacon, New York. So
Or
100 miles.
Albany to
Oh,
be.
sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
Albany, because Niagara is the next one, from Albany, New York to Beacon, New York. So she ran that. And how long did it take you to run that?
So that's a 100-mile run, and it took about 24 hours.
Yeah, so she was running for 24 hours and she looked amazing running it. I got to see her, I think at like mile, what, 70,
Yeah,
80?
70. You got me
Yeah.
at the trail where I really needed your cheerleading.
Yes. So this is why I say it's so important to have like a positive group of people who really believe in your mission. I remember I was tracking her through her run and like talking to her brother on Facebook and everything like that. And he was like, I don't know, she seems a little shaky a mile 60. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. So like I got in my car and then I got on my bike and she was running on this part of the trail. It's called the Rail Trail in New York. I got my chalk out. And like every mile, I started writing her messages because we've known each other for so long. So I started writing her messages of like inspirations or something that she would like just ignite her fire. And when I got to her, she didn't look like she needed any help. She was just like, she was just running. I was like, this girl don't need any help. But the messages really helped. And it was funny. I remember I was like, Tar, like, you look great, you look amazing, how are you doing? And she was like, I got this, like, things are just like running through me anytime I hit like a moment of like I can't figure it out. I have a higher calling and a higher purpose and I just keep on going. And I felt it, like I still feel it to today. Like she was so focused on her goal, but she just knew she was like divinely supported in the whole journey, which was absolutely beautiful. So
Yeah,
it's
I remember you showing up, and I was just like, part of me, and I may not be alone in this, but you doubt what you're doing. You doubt like, what's the point of it, and you tend to want to go small. And you were showing up and screaming to strangers what I was doing, and I was like, maybe I'm not. You were like, this girl came from, like, you were telling everybody on the rail trail, and it was like, okay, I'm not crazy. There's, it's like I feel a purpose inside, but sometimes you feel like you're alone in that. And when you're showing up, when you have that support that shows up, that mirrors what you have going inside, it's so helpful.
Yeah, that was such a fun day. And because Tara is shy, so I'm so proud of you for coming on Digital Growth Live. I'm going to say she was shy because now she's going to be speaking across the whole U.S. talking about human rights. So she's got this. But it was really cool to see you also like take in the love that was on that rail trail. Because as I was writing the messages, I would literally was telling everyone that you were coming down, coming down the road. Make sure they cheer you on. So that was really cool. So then fast forward to 2021,
Hmm.
you decide, okay, like next part of my training is to bike from Niagara Falls to Beacon, New York. And you did it in, you said 40, like a weekend, in a weekend.
Yeah, it was a little under 48 hours, about 38 hours of biking,
And I
35 hours.
love, and I love too, she was so prepared that she actually like crushed her time that she thought she was going to do it in.
Oh,
And surprised us all every time she finishes, because she finishes in our hometown in Beacon, New York. So it's always great to see her finish. But every time she finishes, she always surprises everyone by coming in early. Like she like shatters her time, and we're like, "What?" I remember too. You're coming in. I was having dinner with my family outside. We were all sitting outside and I ran into your mother and she was like, "Oh, Tara's coming in an hour." I was like, "What? She can't be coming in an hour." She literally, my clock says like she's coming in at like I think 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the morning, and you came in like at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was wild. So I was like, okay, well, it was divine that I met your mother. I saw your mother, and then we got to cheer you on when you flew past my house down. Like you were like, I was like, this girl just biked how many miles? And she's just like so full of energy. It was awesome.
it's something about coming home, though. I love that my end is always home.
Mm, yeah. And yeah. And so now 2022. Um, they're gonna go to Death Valley. I mean, let's start in like Death Valley. I love that. And I love how you talk about your mission, right? You're turning dark to light and you're starting in Death Valley. You're ending in Beacon, New York, which is your home, your light, and it's Beacon. So we were talking the other day, like tell me about that that feeling or that like journey from light to dark and like kind of like how you associate it to your running and biking across the US.
So for me, it's not just a run. Anyone who knows me, everything's like there's layers of deepness of everything connecting some way, either through numbers or the names have a meaning. So life, I think it's a journey. And sometimes we look at obstacles as something like that happened to fall on the path as opposed to being part of the path. So I believe that we're constantly going through darkness and light, like as a cycle. And sometimes we can get lost in the dark, but the whole flip is a reminder of that, to that we have the power to choose. We can, even in the dark, we can be the light.
Mm.
Um, so to my whole initiative is flip it, excuse me, which means to turn implied powerlessness into living fearlessly, just to remind us all that we have the power within to live fearlessly. Not saying without fear, but to be able to lean into that fear and turn it into love, into light, into the thing that we want it to be co-creators of this life, not to walk around as if the life is happening to us, but to be reminded and remember that it's happening for us and we're part of it. So the whole Death Valley to Beacon, like you said, is that visualization or that concept of going from dark to light, to be able to flip it from dark to light. Um, so I don't know where I was going with this.
I love it too, and I think one point too, like you're so intentional about everything that you're doing, which is phenomenal. Like even you had told me like you want to run and bike in the nighttime, right? It's about the transition to dark into
The
light. So
whole time.
you, yeah.
And the whole thing is that the biking, running, because when the seed was planted, it was a high school buddy of ours that said, "Well, would you ever run across country?" And I shut it down quick, just like I shut down speaking. So that's why I feel like it's probably the thing I need to do because I'm so quick to say no. I was like, no, I haven't ever thought it. I wouldn't ever do it. I think it's silly. I probably used other words, but I was like, no. And so that night I went home and I looked up like, why do people do it? I don't know why it was sitting in me. Like I said, he planted the seed and I looked it up and it said that when people do it, they usually do it for a cause. And just like that, my two things came together because earlier that, the month before the seed, I had learned about human rights and it had been such a strong tool for me in what I was dealing with in an unhealthy relationship. It helped me to remember who I was and it made me be able to stand for the first time in a long time on a truth that I knew inside, but the world was telling me the opposite. So I was like confused, and the human rights gave me that rock to stand on, and it aligned with my core beliefs, with the higher power, with God and Jesus and the Holy Spirit. So it all aligned to what was inside me, and so I was like, oh, not only am I going to do this, but I'm going to do it for human rights. I'm going to do it for love. Um, so I lost my thought because I was so into this.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think that's it, like, right? The passion behind human rights and love, and that's what's just driving you across the country, right? And what I love about you too is like it's always bigger than you. Whether you know it or not, it's always bigger than you. Like you have given people so much hope and so much inspiration. Like what I love too is like as an athlete and just as a person, like you bring people along with you. So even though you're running 100 miles, like you created a group for our local community who for people who are not really that active and say, hey, like I want to give you a safe space to explore this, right? I want to have a safe space for you to explore being healthy. And for me, it's like healthy in mind, body, and spirit, right? Because
right.
you're all about like being athletic, but that's just like kind of I feel like the entry point is like, yeah, we can use our body, but then like you support them from a mental capacity, right? You talk about your human rights, you talk about being loved, you create a really like a network of people who love and support and appreciate each other, right? And when you do that, it's bigger than yourself. You're creating a ripple effect and you don't even know that. And then when you're going across country, like speaking in all these in these cities, I mean, it's you people that you don't know are going to be able to experience you and start to understand like, oh, these are my rights too, right? Like things that they have never thought about before. And that can shift the world, that could shift the planet. I'm an optimist, but that's
Oh,
probably why we're friends.
yeah. Yes. And I think it's more than we're just optimists. Like we truly believe in love can heal all, you
Mhm.
know, and we also believe that we all are love, you know. Um but in the world that we live in, it can get lost in the sauce, you know. Because love and joy are light, whereas fear and hate and violence are very heavy, so they tend to seem to be bigger or more out there than the love that's there. And I truly believe that, you know, there is a lot of love going on, and how do we just continue to make it as contagious as possible?
I love it. I love it. And I mean, this is a journey for you. Like it's a spiritual journey for you too. Like and I feel like it's a journey of experiencing love and being love. Um and while you're doing that, you're setting the example and being the role model for others, right? Because there are dark moments, there are tough times. Nothing is peachy all the time, right? Like I love to smile, but I don't smile all the time. There's some moments I'm raging, some moments I'm crying. Some moments are hard, like with family, with friends. But that's the evolution that we go through. And the more I feel that like you're going through this process, the more that you're like realizing like the core, like to love and be loved.
Right. And like you were saying, the experience, like we like I'm not happy all the time. However, I'm aware that I have choice in every moment. You know, it may not be, you know, exactly what I planned, but when I give myself time to pause and take a breath and respond instead of reacting. Because for me, I'll talk from my point, when I go to react, I end up doing old ways that didn't serve me, old ways that didn't help me, old ways that got me to places where I don't want to be. So, like, sometimes we learn new stuff, but we tend to react in our old patterns until we rewire them and have different patterns. So it's this whole idea, not only human rights, like I don't want people just to know them. These are rights that, you know, were put in a declaration in 1948 that get violated on a daily basis, multiple times a day. And with the human rights, it's not just knowing, it's embracing and upholding them. And not just for yourself, but for your neighbor, to your friend, your family. For me, every being on this earth is my brother and sister. So I'm definitely trying to uphold it for them. But my work is to remember to uphold them for myself. So I'm not out here just for me and not out here just for others. I'm out here for all of us, including myself. And the more and more I do the work, the more and more I practice it, the more and more I'm showing up and actually making better decisions for myself. And I hope that I'm able to be a model that helps others to choose themselves and to make better decisions. Because at the end of the day, responsibility is the ability to respond. And
Mm.
we've been told or taught or saw reacting, you know, tough love. For me, when I grew up, tough love was a thing. And the more and more I sit back, I'm like, tough love is abuse. You know, there's a better way to love, and it's called unconditional love. And that's why I really did the Niagara Falls on the bike, the whole idea of breaking the cycle. So all my stuff always have a deeper meaning. And it's like, I do want to break this cycle of conditional love or tough love to the point where we become unconditional love, where we are forgiving one another and loving one another no matter what happens, no matter if it's a happy day or not a happy day, but we lean into that love. But the running then is, oh, well, why don't you just bike? But it doesn't happen just like that. It takes one step at a time, one
Mm.
decision at a time, one interaction at a time, and choosing love over and over again over fear. That was
Love
a
it.
lot.
No, I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, and that's really the essence of what you're doing and the essence of who you're being, right? And the essence of like how you are inspiring people because you are talking the talk and walking the walk and running the run and biking the bike, right? Like you're breaking the cycle one step at a time by doing the work. Like, and when
Right.
I say doing the work, she is, a mother, a teacher, she is training, right? But she's also doing the work internally to get there and to like be in the commitment to have it show up and
And the
also
thing is,
ask for support
what was that? I didn't hear that
and
last thing.
asking for support.
Oh yeah, definitely asking support because I'm only one person, and this ties into exactly what I was saying. At the end of the day, I can only make these decisions and do for me. I only have control over me.
Hmm.
I hope that I'm encouraging others to make the best decision for themselves. Because what I've learned is when I fill up my cup and I make sure I'm pouring into me the love and the respect that I know that I deserve because I am a human being and it is my birthright, that's just naturally what I want to give to others. And then when I think about that, like I take a beat on that, I'm like, imagine if everybody felt that way. Like if you like when you're having a really good day, even if someone steps on your toe or ruins something, you're just like, it's okay, because it's just love is pouring out. So at the end of the day, yeah, I'm doing some stuff and I really hope I'm inspiring others, but I at the end of the day, I only control me and I hope I'm showing up and being my best self because that doesn't just help me, it helps us all. Like I'm always talking about like me to we, we're all connected. There's no me without you. There's no me without the we, because if it was just me, it's just me. We together makes the we. And I really believe that it takes one person at a time to make this world a better place. And
Yeah.
I'm starting with me because that's all I can control.
Yes and yes. But so tell us, we, how to help you. Like, how do we, the listeners who are listening right now, how do we support you in this journey? I know you have your website, tarasmission.com. I think you're looking for funding to help with the trip, maybe looking for sponsors. So as companies are looking at this, like, please reach out to Tara to sponsor her through the journey. I think you're needing a couple things. So I think some more PR, right? We're looking for
Right.
some more
I
PR
need like
help.
a social media person because it's not my thing. I jump on, I spread a little love, and I jump off. Logistics has been, uh, I
A
can't even.
logistic nightmare.
Well, it's it's learning. um, driver support, organizations. Because at the end of the day, I can do this and we can show up, but what I feel like there's a lot of love going on out there, but when it's time to show up, we don't show up in the masses. So showing up, sharing, doing your part by just taking care of you will help take care of the world. So the ask is from small to big, and I believe every single person can be part of this. So, like you said, definitely looking for people to join the team to help make this happen, from logistics to spreading the message to documenting it to creating even lesson plans to bring into the classroom of what can be done with an average human body. I think we all
Mm.
are abundant in more than any label that the world has put on us or we put on ourselves. And like we've talked, like I didn't think I could run 100 miles, but I showed up and I tried and I did it, and I did it way faster than I thought I could. um so it's like just this physical thing is helping bust the box that I put myself in, or the label that I've wrapped myself in, and I hope it helps others to go beyond whatever they can even imagine that they're able to do. So go out there and be you, be big, be all that you can be. um, I said posts, logistics, funding. If you know someone that might be interested in funding, just spreading the word and let's working as a team is the ass.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask my audience if you could share this to as many people as possible, so we can just, again, like Tara's mission is so big. It's not just running and biking across the United States. It is literally spreading love and compassion and really awakening people to their birthright, their human rights, as as people on this earth, right? So not just the United States, but all over. So I'm asking my audience, please share this to all your friends and your family. We're really making this, trying to make this the biggest, best possible race. And I know this is not her last race, right? This is, again, like this is part of her journey. She planted a seed and the vision continues to grow. So whenever you watch this, feel free to go to tarasmissions.com and see where she's at in her journey and support her wherever she's at. Because I feel like I'm just so excited to see where it keeps going.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. It's more than I could ever imagine. But I'm going to keep showing up.
Yeah, awesome. So is there any like one or two pieces of like advice or tips that you just want the viewers to know?
So one, I probably already said it because this is my new thing that I'm always saying. Just remember that you're loved and you deserve respect every single day from everyone that you interact with, including yourself. um, and two, that whenever something's happening, you have choice. However, being aware is step one. So recognize you have choice. And I want to encourage you to reject fear, lean into fear, and replace it with love. Just try it. And sometimes it might just breathe in the moment and feel what's really happening. Be present, be here, and remember you can choose.
I love
It's
it.
not easy, but it'll be worth it. I promise. And I
I love
love
it.
you.
Yeah, I love it. It's really is all about choice. And your commitment shows that you choose every day to really go forward. And I keep on thinking this word. There was a coach, there was a speaker that I spoke to, I think a week or two ago, and her theme is unstoppable. And I just feel that's you. It's unstoppable, right? You're unstoppable with your mission. So I love it. Cool. So
And also, like you were saying, there's another show called Impossible. It's like nothing is impossible. It basically says I'm possible. We are all possible, and don't wait for someone else to do it. Like we were created to do it, so let's do it.
I love it. Yeah, because I believe that we're all put on this earth for a unique purpose, right? And we all have unique gifts and talents. And usually people like we have this feeling like I want to do this, but there's that fear around us that stops. Like when I was like I want to interview 100 women, I was like, why do I want to do that? Sounds kind of crazy because I have a pretty busy schedule with work and everything else. But I was like, no, this is true to me. And this is what needs to be done. And it's been an amazing journey. And then you ask for support. And it's interesting because when you want something, there's this quote that I have that like the whole world conspires to give it to you. You
From The
just got,
Alchemist.
yeah, you just have to step out. Like you got to get out of your own way, right?
Yes.
So, and then you also have to think like you also have to not be attached to how you think it's supposed to look, right? I find that attachment because I'm like I'm very goal oriented. So I set a goal and I want to like make that goal. But sometimes the goal, I achieve it and it looks completely different. The journey to that goal looks completely different. So set the intention, work hard, have the commitment, choose to do it every day, and then it'll come to you. Don't be attached to that outlook.
And you don't have to do it alone. There's people here, like you said, the universe will conspire to making it happen.
Yes.
So again, sometimes we think we got to make sure it's going to be perfect. No, just go for it, and the help will show up.
Awesome. Okay, so we talked a little bit about your journey. We talked about human rights. We talked about running. We talked about chicken wings. Uh, that's what I love about the show. We talk about everything. We never know where it's going to go. So I always ask my audience or my guests, what do you do for self-care, right? I'm a big person around like mind, body, and spirit. And I also sprinkle in a lot of pleasure and a lot of joy and a lot of laughter. So, what do you do to bring you pleasure into your day?
Pleasure into my day begins with filling up my own cup. To be honest, I have to start with when I start my day because I'm human. So there's some days where I don't start with that fill up, and then I remind myself you should have started with that fill up. So really, just pouring into myself, connecting with my source, asking for guidance of where should I go, lead the way, and trusting in that unfoldment and just taking care of my thoughts and my heart and connecting the two um, is my self-care practice.
Awesome. Anything in particular that you do? Because, like, I know I have these thoughts that chatter all the time in my head. Anything that you do to help with that chatter?
The chatter, breathing, just being
Oh,
present in the moment,
yes. Thank you.
like
Thank
just
you for the
coming back,
reminder.
just coming back, even like when the endurance stuff. sometimes I'll get to the finish line. It's like, girl, you still 200 miles from home, and it's just come back. There's a line, there's a car. Just coming back to the present moment, to
Mm,
what really is, um, helps settle all of that, and just being grateful for the moment.
I love it.
So,
That definitely is the message for me, to continue to breathe. I don't know how many times people tell me that, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. Right, I'm supposed to
but it's
breathe."
also a give and take. Some of us love to give, and we forget the taking. Breathing happens by inhaling and exhaling. You don't want to just be in the giving or just in the receiving. It's the cycle of both of them. So,
Again, I love the layers. I, like, never thought about it that way, and I love that. I love that interpretation about breathing. It's about the giving and taking. It's that cycle of life, right? Ooh,
yeah,
girl, I
yeah.
love it. Spread those gems.
Oh yeah. Oh, LaShawn has a good one too. Like, when you swim. When you don't, float.
Mm, I love it. And so LaShawn is
Like,
another one of our
those. Yeah, she was the chicken wing eater, actually. I mean, I love me some wings, but during training, I don't do the meat. But
Oh my God. This is so funny. Oh, that was a
that's
fun
a little
night. It
backstory.
was a fun night. We need to find another chicken wing contest. But again, you're not eating meat. I don't think I
Oh, we can
could.
do a cauliflower. Maybe we can get Buffalo Wild Wings to do a cauliflower wing contest. Who
I
knows?
mean,
This
you have now
let's speak
planted
it
the
into
seed.
existence.
I mean, you have now planted the seed, and I think it could. I mean, there's so many people who are not eating meat anymore, and
Right.
that could be kind of fun.
I love it. They could be a good sponsor too.
I love it. There
All
we
these.
go.
Well, thank you so much, Emily. This was a ton of fun.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. So I can't wait to see. I will be telling the audience more about your journey. Again, you start July 1st.
Yes.
July
July 1st.
1st. So you still have time to support her, help her, reach out to her. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me as
Yes.
well. And yeah, I will be sending you lots of love on your journey today, because I know you're going to be biking and running at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then we'll get together and have some cauliflower.
Yes. I love that plan. Love that.
All
But
right. So
definitely stay tuned. But the other thing is, stay tuned, because I would love to end with as many people as possible. And the end will not be easy, but it'll be worth it.
yes. And I mean, we have viewers all across the US. So when we get the logistics of every city that she's going to
Yes.
be in, I will
Out.
definitely post the map. And then we can have some cheering squads all over the US.
Yes, yes. I
All
love
right.
it.
Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much to my viewers. And I can't wait to have my next guest on. And we will see you soon.
All
Ciao.
right. Love.